Hello, welcome to Webinar Wednesdays with Can Do Multiple Sclerosis. My name is Paige Kennan and I will be your moderator for this evening. Our topic is going to be Meet Your MS Advocacy Network. I want to take a brief moment to thank our generous sponsors for supporting this year's webinar series. Thank you to EMD Serono, Genentech, Sanofi, and Zenas. So today we're going to be hearing from several MS advocacy groups. This is not an extensive list of organizations, so please feel free to reach out to your local MS organizations and see what they have to offer as well. But we are highlighting these programs that are on the screen here today. So to get started, we're going to hear from Darian from the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. Hi, Darian.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Darian Bannister, and I'm the Director of Health Education and Equity at the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. I'm proud to say I'm located here in the South. I see a lot of South here in Atlanta, Georgia, where in fact we have an event coming up on April 16th, our Women of Action. Please check out our website a little bit later to find out more if you're in the area. Next slide, please. So here at MSAA, we say we're improving lives today. The Multiple Sclerosis Association of America is a national nonprofit organization and is the leading resource for the entire MS community, improving lives through today, vital services, and support. We have been doing this work for 50 years, everyone. So proud to say that we have been in this fight to support those that are living with MS across the country and even at one point internationally through the great work that we've been doing. Next slide, please. And this slide is going to tell us a little bit more of our programs and services. First, we have our toll-free helpline, which you can call, and you can see the extensions right here for 154 for our national toll-free helpline for English. And then we offer the same helpline in Spanish at extension 131. Then we have our equipment program where we provide services for those impacted by and living with MS. Those services like cooling equipment, if you're looking for a wheelchair, walkers, ramps, these are the types of equipment that we love to offer. We also are the only organization, very proud to say, that offer the MRI Access Program. So that is back open with some generous support from some wonderful sponsors. We are offering MRI. So those that are looking to receive an MRI and need some help paying for it, please contact us. Other educational programs. This month is MS Awareness Month. Happy March, you all. And throughout the entire month, myself and some other staff, we are traveling across the country in so many different places, providing educational programs. So please check out our website. We will and probably come into a city near you. Online tools and digital resources. We have many online resources. One of my favorite tools is where you can actually see many of our neurologist partners, and they share about all the 25 FDA approved drugs that are approved for supporting and treating MS, and they talk about each of them on there. Plus our community connections, which not only come virtually, they're also in person through our education programs. Next slide, please. And how to find us, please just all you have to do is visit our website, go to www.mymsa.org. And if you look here where you say how MSAA can help, you can see all of our publications, anything for our websites, all of our offerings, and many of our educational programs right here, as well as our calendar of events. And we're coming to a city near you. Don't forget to sign up to get all of our updates. We share many updates at least twice a week. Looking forward to hearing from you more, and thank you for having us.
Thanks, Darian. As a reminder, if you have any questions specifically about MSAA, you can go to the question and answer box, type your questions in there, and we can ask Darian at the end of today's program. All right, next up, we have Monique Frazier with MS Focus, the MS Foundation. Thanks for being here today, Monique.
Thank you so much, Paige. Good evening, everyone. Like Paige said, my name is Monique Fraser, and I am the supervisor of the Home Care and Emergency Assistance Grant programs at the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. I want to tell you all about who we are at MS Focus and the programs that we provide. Next slide. So MS Focus provides for the critical needs of people with MS. Those critical needs are health, sufficiency, safety, independence, and knowledge. MS Focus provides services directly to people with MS throughout the United States and its territories, which include Puerto Rico. Next slide. Some of the services that we provide are, next slide. Good. Next. 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 And next. There we go. Thank you. So some of the services that we provide are the assistive technology, where we can help pay for equipment or devices that assist with daily activities such as canes, walkers, or even voice recognition software. There's also our home care assistance grant. Next slide. Our home care assistance grant, this grant provides temporary home care services during a flare-up of symptoms, after a hospital visit, or caregiver respite. This grant can also help with occupational, physical, and speech therapy. Next slide. So we also have our cooling program, which can help with providing cooling vests and cooling accessories to help with heat intolerance. We do offer this program during a set time frame, so it is only available from February 1st to June 1st. Next slide. We also have our transportation assistance grant, and this grant can help with paratransit fees and Uber rides to the neurologist or infusion centers. Next slide. We also have our healthcare assistance grant, which can help with a neurologist visit or dental care if you don't have any insurance. There's also our emergency assistance grant, which that can help provide a once-in-a-lifetime assistance with rent or utilities if you have an eviction notice or disconnection notice. We also have several other programs, such as our computer program. There's also our Brighter Tomorrow grant, which can help with goods or services that can help improve your life. This grant is only available from June 1st to September 1st. There's also our health and wellness grant, which that can help with funding towards adaptive exercise or alternative therapy. We also have support groups and several educational events. You can get more details on all of our programs and our grants on our website, msfocus.org, or you can call our support line. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, Monique. I appreciate it. Again, if you have questions specific to MS Foundation, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A, and we'll ask Monique later in the evening. Oh, and here are the support systems to reach out to the MS Foundation. All right, we have Stuart. Stuart's joining us from MS Views and News. Hello, Stuart.
I wish I could say as much as the first two, but it's not going to happen. Okay, so I am Stuart Schlossman. I'm founder and president of MS Views and News, and I am also an MS patient. We're based out of South Florida. We provide educational programs and resources to, obviously, people with multiple sclerosis, primarily in rural and underserved communities around the United States. Next, please. Forgot to say next. There you go. So, so there you can see it. I mean, you can take a snap of that QR code and learn more about our website from there. You can, hopefully be able to visit our YouTube channel and see all the different programs that we record with. We record every program we do, whether it be virtual or in person. So next, please. In-person and virtual programs, our Compass MS Care program series is what's basically for rural American underserved communities. We do get around. I mean, we're on the road a tremendous amount of time, having doctors primarily from each area, so that way they can learn more themselves about what it is that they're trying to educate the patients about with regard to treatment options that are available, the resources that are available, and how to get them. And we do promote the other MS organizations because they are the ones that have a heck of a lot more than MS Views and News has with regards to what the patients do need to live better lives. Next, please. In addition, though, to what was on the previous page, part of our virtual program series, we have physical therapy, which was on the previous page. We have our MS Views Now program, which every other month of the year, we have a town hall meeting with Dr. Aaron Boster. The other months of the year, we do different things that are related to what's happening in the multiple sclerosis field now. That's why it's MS Views Now. In addition to that, we have our mental wellness chat series that happens all the time. And again, we go back to the Compass MS Care series. In addition to all of this, though, we have other live programs, in-person programs. We have our different series of symposiums that we do in South Florida, we do in Coleman, Alabama. We're trying to reach out to other areas. We have coming up in May, at the beginning of CMSC, we have our MS Forum that will be held in Scottsdale, Arizona. We just had our MS Wellness Summit in Miami the other day. We had quite a crowd for that. We had 4 speakers there. Then we have 8 other programs that we're putting together to do live throughout the back end of the year as well. So it will be quite a busy year for all of us. Again, our website, if you haven't seen it, it's designed by MS patients for MS patients. So it is an easy to navigate system, being that we had all MS patients, speak to us about it and do what is needed for others to feel best as well. I forgot to mention that in addition to the other programs that we're doing live, we also have 4 programs that we're doing this year, 2 virtually and 2 in person, that are on MS and rare but similar autoimmune conditions such as NMOSD or MOGAD. So, we are trying to reach out to others as well, bringing everybody together and just helping people learn. That's all.
Awesome. We've got a few different comments about your different speakers and how awesome they are. So love to see that in the chat. Thank you so much, Stuart.
Thank you.
If you've got questions for Stuart and MS News and Views and News, please put those in the Q&A box and we'll get to those shortly. All right, next up we have Eric from the National MS Society. Hello, Eric.
Hey, everyone. It's great to be here with you all during MS Awareness Week. I'm a Senior Director of Community Engagement on the Society's Programs and Support team. Next. I think you can go to the next one as well. Thanks. The National MS Society exists because there are 1 million people in the US who wake up every day to face the challenges of this disease and many others who will be diagnosed in the future. Our mission is to cure this disease while making sure every person with MS has what they need to live their best lives today. Next, please. Our organization was formed nearly 80 years ago by Sylvia Lowry. She recognized the need for an organized effort to fund research into the cure, treatment, and cause of MS after her brother was diagnosed with the disease. What started as one woman's vision and commitment is now a global movement. Next. Over the last 80 years, nearly 80 years, we have fundamentally reshaped life with MS. Today, we have quicker diagnoses, many treatments to slow progression, greater awareness and understanding of the disease, and a passionate and supportive community. Next. So here's our approach. Next. The MS journey is filled with moments of despair in hearing the words, "You have MS," moments of relief when there are no new lesions on an MRI, moments of frustration when symptoms get in your way, moments of hope in hearing about new treatments and progress towards a cure. Our goal is to bring more moments of connection and empowerment and fewer moments of fear and anxiety, to make MS smaller so that there is more room to focus on what really matters, to change the MS journey. Next. Our current strategic plan is a natural progression of our work, pushing us all to accelerate progress towards a world free of MS. We looked at what people with MS told us they needed and spent a lot of time thinking about what we are uniquely positioned to address. We have chosen to focus on 3 impact areas shown here on the slide: accelerating cures, improving healthcare access, and informing, connecting, and supporting people affected by MS. Next. Just as the experience of living with MS is different for every person's cure for MS may be different. Whether that means being able to get back on your bike, an MRI with no new lesions, or knowing your child will never hear the words, "You have MS," we are working to find that cure as fast as possible. Next. We've made incredible progress, but we aren't done yet. So to deliver life-changing solutions and MS cures for every person, we've chartered our course through the Pathways to Cures Research Roadmap, the world's first global MS research agenda, and the International Progressive MS Alliance. These society-led global initiatives inspire worldwide collaboration and align research and resources to close in on cures for MS faster. Next. We know that people affected by MS can live better lives when lawmakers understand the challenges of the disease. MS activists work relentlessly to make life with MS better, today and tomorrow. Next. Our leadership and influence on Capitol Hill has led to positive change for the MS community, including the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, landmark legislation to bring down the cost of medications. Wouldn't have been possible without the hard work and persistence of our MS activists. Next. Every person with MS deserves a doctor who knows MS and puts them first, but finding the right healthcare provider and treatments can be a struggle, whether it's the rising cost of medications, the shifting insurance landscape, longer travel and wait times, or lack of provider knowledge. Our approach to improving healthcare access is simple. We're focused on ensuring access for all. Our goal is for each person with MS to have the opportunity for their best health outcomes. This means we sometimes focus on groups of people where the data tells us that these groups may be at risk for poorer health outcomes. The bottom line is that our commitment is steadfast to these two principles. Next, please. And this brings us to the inform, connect, and support impact area of our three focus areas for our strategic plan. And that's to say that the National MS Society is here for every person affected by MS. Whether it's visiting our trusted website, finding community through our MS Navigator program or our peer connection opportunities, or attending education programs, people affected by MS can tap into the information, tools, support, and connections they need to move their lives forward. Programs include large-scale virtual programs like our education summits, all the way to smaller, locally community-responsive programs that tailor content to suit the needs of that community. These education opportunities and other on-demand and streaming options can be found by going to our website shown here. Next. We also believe that no one should face MS alone. Here we're highlighting the various opportunities to connect with others with shared experiences, either one-on-one or in a group, in person or online. In addition, our MS Navigators provide professional guidance on the various topics you care about. Next. Everyone has the power to change the world for people with MS. If you haven't yet had the opportunity, please connect with us by giving us a call at 1-800-344-4867 or visit us online at our website listed here at nationalmssociety.org. Thanks everyone for having me join you today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric. If you have questions about the National MS Society, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A. All right, moving right along, joining us from across the pond is Victoria with Shift for MS. Thanks for being here, Victoria.
Thank you, Paige. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Victoria from Shift MS. We may be relatively new on your radar, so I'm just going to explain a little bit about what we're all about. We are a charity based in the UK, but we run a digital community for MSers, or people living with MS. We like to call them MSers. We welcome the community from the MS community from across the world, but primarily our audience are UK based and North America based, which is why I am here today. Next slide. Thank you, Paige. So I'm going to go back a little bit and start with our origins. The Shift MS story starts about 20 years ago, and this is our CEO and our co-founder, a chap called George Pepper, who was diagnosed with MS when he was 22, and he was in the prime of his life, just started his first kind of proper job, just got back from traveling, and he was diagnosed with MS, and he had a really aggressive start to his MS journey with 7 relapses in the first 18 months. And at the time, he didn't know what MS was. He certainly didn't know anyone from who had MS, and he really couldn't find anyone to speak to who understood what he was going through. And he used those kind of feelings and turned them into a purpose, really. And that's why he started Shift MS, which is a volunteer-led charity. You would have seen on the previous screen, we said by MSs for MSs. That's because we are a peer-to-peer support network. And for us, it is all about people with MS supporting people with MS. Next slide, please. Thank you. So as I said, we're a global digital community. We support people with MS from diagnosis onwards by connecting them with others who get it. So our goal is all about relatability. It is all about finding people who you can speak to and you can share stories with. And we have created a digital community in order to facilitate those conversations. Our goal is to support MSers in finding social connection and empowering them to make proactive decisions based on the lived experience of others. We're an independent charity and our app is free. We run our service across a website, across social media, and across an app. You can download our app from the app stores by searching Shift.ms, and there'll be a QR code at the end as well. Next slide, please. So this is a bit of an overview of what Shift.ms does and kind of who we are. So we have over 67,000 members worldwide who have joined our community over the past few years. We connect, our goal is to connect MSers with people who understand what they're going through and really help you build that support network. Because we understand that, you know, no one really quite gets what you're going through apart from other MSers. So our goal is to help MSers learn to adapt to their diagnosis and better manage their health, and to find answers to MS questions, get honest advice from people who are in the same kind of position as you, and read, listen, and watch the stories of other MSers. Next slide, please. So our focus is very much about the exchange of lived experience. It is about receiving the support that you need, but it's also about giving the support that you need within the Shift.ms platform. We want MSers to feel inspired by the lived experience of others, and to feel empowered to make more proactive decisions. We have created a lot of video content, and I say we, it's actually all user-generated content by MSers. As I said, we're by MSers for MSers, and our goal is very much to have that conversation on a peer-to-peer level. We have, within our app, we have a live community feed, as well as lots of content. So it's an opportunity to have a conversation, to ask questions, about anything. There is no topic that is off limits: treatment, symptoms, mental health, relationships, disclosure, practical discussions. There is conversation threads ongoing about all different types of topics, and we have a whole library of historical conversations that have happened. So there's tons of content to dig into and tons of lived experience to access. And we also want people to facilitate their own conversations. You can ask questions within the feed, you can react to posts and comment, and also take discussions off the feed to kind of private DMs, so you can make more relatable connections that suit your own stage in your MS journey. Next slide, please. And this is the Buddy Networks. This is one of the main services that we offer. We know how unpredictable MS is, and the uncertain future that it holds, and how it affects everyone differently. And linking back to our purpose and not being able to find any relatable resources, this is where the Buddy Network came from. So it is a one-to-one peer support project. So it connects a newly diagnosed MSer, which is someone who's been diagnosed with MS within about the past 5 years, with a buddy, an experienced MSer, and that is someone who has been diagnosed for a while and living well with their MS. And the buddy can provide a friendship, an unbiased outlook, a non-judgmental approach, and can signpost you to reliable resources. And this is one of our kind of champion services is available through our app, which if you just go on to the next screen, the last screen, we very much encourage you to find us, to check us out, to have a look on socials. As I said, I sound British because we are a UK charity, but we have that global reach, and we want to support all MSers across the globe. So we'd very much love you to check us out and see what's going on. Thank you all.
Lots of great information. Thank you, Victoria. If you have questions about Shift MS, please put those in the Q&A box. All right, and now we have Ashley with We Are Ill. Welcome, Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley Ratcliffe-Lundy. I am the Director of Communications with We Are Ill. We're a patient advocacy organization that supports, educates, and uplifts Black women living with multiple sclerosis. You can go to the next slide. We were founded in 2020 by Victoria Reese Brathwaite. She was diagnosed in 2012, and noticing the dearth of opportunities and representation of Black women in the MS space, she decided to create the organization. Our whole thing is redefining what sick looks like for our community. We want to make, our MS, we want to make it a more inclusive space because Black women are being diagnosed at higher rates. Black women actually have an increased likelihood of being diagnosed with MS. And what's alarming is that Black women and white women are being diagnosed at the same rates. However, Black people only make up 13% of the population. So we are on a mission to educate our community about what MS looks like. We have a variety of initiatives, and our primary focus is on diversity in clinical trials. We make up a fraction of participants in clinical trials. We do a lot of wellness education. We promote self-advocacy as well as community. You can go to the next slide. And so some of our notable offerings is our Wellness Weekend. It's our signature event. It's now in its 6th year. It's a 3-day in-person event held in Atlanta. We have so much fun. It's an event like unlike any conference you've ever been to. We have informational panels about things ranging from clinical trials to intimacy in multiple sclerosis. We have happy hours, we dance, we have adaptive fitness sessions. It's all about building community and helping our community feel less alone on their MS journey. Something that we also offer are blogs from our influencers. We call them influencers. They're basically our ambassadors about how to live well in spite of MS. So those are found on our website. Also, shout out Latoya. Hey, girl. She's one of our members who can vouch for us and how we build community amongst Black women. We have a private Facebook group of about 2,000 Black women living with MS. It's kind of like I'd like to call it like a virtual support group of sorts. People go on there, they ask questions like, hey, I'm experiencing this new symptom, or oh, I had to switch DMTs. Have you had experience with that? So we get a lot of advice. We give a lot of advice and feedback within that Facebook group. We also last year first started doing community meetups in person where we go across the country in various markets and have meetups where we just connect. There's no agenda. It's just all about getting to know each other. A lot of people who find us say that they don't have any frame of reference for MS, like none of their friends or family members have MS. So we want to help people, again, feel less alone on their MS journeys, and we do that through our community meetups. Next slide. So we are a small but mighty team. There's 5 of us. We are a national organization. I personally am based in Long Beach, California, and our director of programs, Leonka Lyons, is based in Los Angeles, California. Our founder, Victoria, is based in Atlanta, as well as our programs manager, who is also based there. And we have a executive assistant who is based in North Carolina. In spite of us being a small but mighty team, we have a large slate of programming for this year. We've kicked off our Shop Chats initiative, which is an online discussion. It's a video that you can watch. It's on YouTube, and it's set in a beauty salon setting. Black women love our hairstyles. They're like essentially our therapists. So we want to encourage our community to be as open and have the same level of candor that they have with their hairstylists, with their doctors. And we also want to raise awareness through these programs within the greater Black community about what MS is. Unfortunately, it's not, necessarily a household name like some of the other chronic illnesses. So through these programs, we're attempting to raise greater awareness in our community. We have Understanding the Black Patient Experience, which is happening next week. It's our first program that's actually geared towards medical professionals. And so we want to educate them on how to engage with Black patients, how to have better cultural competency, and also addressing, burnout within their profession. I don't know how many patients have seen when you could just tell that your doctor is burnt out, and it really affects the the appointment. It affects how much you want to be open with your doctor. So that program is happening next week as well as in May. Sisterly Submitted is our program where we're going to sororities. Victoria is a member of Alpha Sorority Incorporated. That's a mouthful. And so we're going to Black sororities as well as Black member organizations like Links and Jack and Jill's to also educate our community about what MS looks like, the signs and symptoms to look for, and what to do when you experience those. This Far by Faith, we're going to churches to also raise awareness. And then we have HBCU Impact, Future of Black Neurology, wherein we will be hosting a program at the HBCUs with medical schools to encourage their students to pursue careers in neurology or specialize in MS, because we know that, research shows that Black patients have better care under Black physicians. So we want to increase the population of Black doctors. I think it's about 5% or 6% of Black doctors in the US. So we're a small fraction. We want to increase those numbers so that we can see better care for our community. I think that's pretty much it. Hey, Jasmine.
Yeah, lots of fans.
Yeah, and thank you so much. We're on Instagram at We Are Illmatic. We have a private Facebook group as well as a community one. And then you can visit our website where we have a bunch of educational resources as well as some of our video programming too. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. That was great. Again, if you have any questions for We Are Ill, throw those in the Q&A. We've got one more presentation from myself and Can Do Multiple Sclerosis. And then we're going to get right into our question and answer session. So most of you know Can Do Multiple Sclerosis. You're here at our webinar where we're highlighting all these advocacy support groups and organizations. So thank you for being here. Since you most likely know a little bit about Can Do, I'm actually going to dive into some specific programs and resources that we have available that you might not be aware of. First up, we have our MS Awareness Month. So I just really want to point you in the direction of our social media channels. I think Darian mentioned it earlier in the program today. There's so much content out on social media right now because it is MS Awareness Month. So yes, we try to put a lot of our stuff on our website as well, but if you want to catch all of our resources, our videos, our articles, please join on Instagram, on Facebook, follow all the folks who are on this call today, including Can Do Multiple Sclerosis, and you're going to have a month of a lot of resources and a lot of fun stuff to look at. All right, so I also want to take a moment to talk about our meetups. In the last couple of years, we've added specific meetups to different specific populations. So the longest one that we've been doing is MS Moves. You can come to our MS Moves meetup if you are a person living with MS, if you're a care partner that wants to join. It's a way to stay active and stay motivated. We provide workout plans that you can follow along to during the meetups. You can talk with our PTs and talk all things physical therapist so that they can give you answers, tips and tricks on, if your shoulder hurts when you're doing this movement or that. It's a lot of fun. We get to move together, laugh, and ask questions. We also have our Black community meetups. These are folks within the Black community who have MS and their care partners. I just want to throw out, we say care partners a lot. Care partners can mean all sorts of things. It can mean your spouse, your partner, your neighbor, your mom, your child, anybody who supports you in your MS journey and in life can join you on any of these programs. So the Black community meetup is a lot of fun, diving into specific programs that really matter to the Black community. And we have 3 really great speakers on that program who come every time and are really committed to growing community within that meetup. Another newer program that we have is a specific care partner meetup. So if you are anybody out there who supports somebody with MS, or you have a significant other or a loved one who is supporting you, please encourage them to go to these care partner meetups. It is a safe space for you to really dive into questions that you have about you and your health and your life. And yes, you are living with MS too, and we want to support you in that. We also have our newly diagnosed meetup. This is a brand new program this year. There are 6 of them, 5 left in the year. We'd love to have you join us. It's for anyone who's diagnosed within the first 5 years, even up to 10 years if you haven't really gritted your teeth and gotten into your diagnosis. Join us for the newly diagnosed. Make some new connections with other people who are still in the early stages of learning about MS and joining in on that community. We also have an annual coaching series. Our coaching series are typically 4 weeks in a row, and they build upon each other. We are specifically diving into how to reduce your risk of falling, and that's going to be coming up here starting in April. This is a really fun program, even if you're not falling currently, if you're at risk for falling or feel like eventually down the line you might be at risk for falling, we'd love to have you join us. This will be the 3rd year of doing this program, but we have flipped it on its head. So if you've come in the past, we want you to come again. We've got brand new information to share with you, new speakers, and we really want to dive into how to make you safe and feeling good in your own home and in your own life. So again, that's going to be coming up starting in April. That's going to be in the evenings on the East Coast. You can join us by clicking on the link, scanning the QR code on the screen, or you can head to our website as well. All right, we also want to highlight some of our in-person programming. Can Do Multiple Sclerosis has a lot of virtual programming, lots of virtual resources, but something that we really hold close to our hearts is our MS community program initiatives. So coming up here in the spring, we're going to be in Alabama, Maryland, Texas, and Nebraska. So we'd love to have you join us if you're anywhere close to those locations. We also have some other locations that will be in the fall. You can check out our website and see all of the dates that are listed there. They're a lot of fun. I've been to a few of them. There's nothing quite like meeting people in person and really diving into how you're feeling about your MS journey, asking questions with healthcare professionals, and just meeting other folks in your area that are going through the same thing. Here are just some quotes that we have from folks who have joined us before. The whole program was fabulous. This has been one of the very best interactive programs I've attended, and I've had MS for 30 years. It was very inspiring. Also, we had somebody say, I gained confidence, grounding, community, and support. So even if you're a couple hours away from those locations, if you're able to make it, it really is worth the trip to go to those in-person programs. Finally, I want to highlight our program at the CMSC conference. So every year there's a very big conference. It moves around the United States. And we have the opportunity to come and put on the patient portion of this program. There's tons of healthcare professionals that come to this conference. And this is just an opportunity to get in front of some healthcare professionals that specialize in MS. And engage in camaraderie in a single space. What's cool about this program is that we pair with a professional AV company so that you can also join in the comfort of your own home. So we would love to see you in person in Phoenix if you are able to join us for this program. But there's also a virtual option. So we'd love to have you join just in the same capacity that you're joining tonight. You'll get the recording, you'll get to be in some workshops and hear a lot of panel discussions. It's a really fun program, whether you're in person or virtual, and we'd love to see you out there. We are going to be diving into topics like movement and exercise, fatigue, mood, cognition, MS treatments. So we're pretty much covering the gamut of topics that day, and we would love to see you there. Again, you can register here by scanning this QR code, or you can visit our website. All right, we have given you a lot of information so far. So here are all of the organizations that have joined us. If you haven't already put your questions in the Q&A, please do so. And we will invite all of our speakers back on screen so we can dive into some of these questions. All right. Let's get everybody on screen here. Well, thank you all so much for all of the great information. I feel like I've learned a lot already. I want to dive into some really easy questions first. So by a show of hands, and then I will let everyone know to make sure that we all get the information. Show of hands, who has virtual live programming that people can join? So Can Do MS, MS Association of America, MS Focus, MS Views and News, and National MS Society, and We Are Ill. So most organizations have live virtual programming. Thank you. All right, how about live in-person programming that you offer in some way, shape, or form? Again, same organizations. I want to highlight Shift MS, Victoria. In a one-sentence word, what is your priority for Shift MS?
Oh, that is a brilliant question. In one sentence, our priority is to create a platform that people with MS can connect with people with MS across the world.
I love it. Who else has spaces where just folks with MS can be together and learn and be in a community together? As if it was a support network, a social media, like Ashley said, that she has a closed Facebook group. All right, so We Are Ill, National MS Society, MS Views and News, and MS Focus, the MS Foundation. Oh, and Darian coming in strong with that sneaky one. So lots of support. We've got in-person, we've got virtual programs, and we have platforms where you can speak with each other and learn from each other, which is really awesome. I'm going to take a brief minute to just say again, this is not an extensive list of your MS support group. There are tons of other organizations out there. There's resources in Canada. I know we do get quite a few people from Canada on these calls. You can look at your individual, in your area. There's a lot of in-person things that are going on at different organizations just in your area. Sometimes they're hard to find. Does anyone on this call have tools to be able to help you find resources locally? So Eric with the National MS Society, MS Views and News, the foundation, the MS Foundation, and MSAA. So if you are looking for tools and tips and resources that are in person in your area, you can reach out to those organizations and they can help you navigate and find those resources. I know the answer to this, but does everyone have an email and or a phone number that is actually manned that you can call into and talk to a person? Is that true? Yes. So if you have questions and we don't answer them tonight, please call us, please email us. We will get back to you. It can be a question about whether we are the right person to reach out to. It can be, hey, I don't understand this tool on your website. We will all help you in any way that we can. These folks have come here out of the goodness of their hearts to speak today. And I know for a fact that they will also answer your email and your phone calls with your personal questions. All right, let's dive into some more personal questions. This one is for MSAA, I believe. You talked about a cooling vest. Is that you, Darian?
Yes, I know
Yes.
it's a few of us that offer
Yes.
cooling equipment, but
It was a
yes.
specific question for MSAA though. Do you have a specific brand that you offer on your website? It seems like people are interested in brands.
I believe not a specific brand, but you know what? Please call and share with our client services. Maybe if there's a specific brand that we need to be on the lookout for, please let us know. If there's just one that you have any feedback for, and I'll definitely leave my email and all that. We can definitely get you a vest if needed.
Awesome. Another sort of general question, which organizations have newsletters that you can sign up for? Everybody. So go onto our websites. Our links to our websites will be in the follow-up email that goes out tomorrow. Go to each of our websites and sign up for our newsletters. That's a great way to know upcoming programs, upcoming opportunities for funding, and so forth. Correct me if I'm wrong, is there Is that the best way that folks can get updates within your organization, is through your newsletter? Okay, perfect. I've got a question here about finding acupuncture. So does any organization help folks reach out and find specialists within healthcare? I know Eric does. Eric and Stuart. Eric, will you tell me specifically, if I wanted an acupuncturist or a neurologist or something like that, where would I go on your website to find help with that?
Sure. You can navigate to the Find Support section of our website. You can also, depending on the type of specialist you're looking for, we have something called Find Doctors and Resources on our website. So it's a self-service option. You can also call the 800 number to set up time to speak with a navigator if there's a more in-depth specific area or area of interest that you're looking for to determine what we might have referrals for to get you connected.
Thank you.
You bet.
Stuart, how would somebody access help on your end?
Specifically, they would go to our website and go to the resources page, and they might find that there might be a link there to easily access those from the National MS Society to find out more information.
I love it. See, everybody's partnered, even if we're not.
We do what we can to work together.
Exactly. And that's why we're all on this call, so that we can help each other out. Darian, what about you? How can people access specialists through your website?
Oh, yes, you can check out our website, look up client services, look up get help. You can even call us. There's a chat box feature that you can actually speak to someone live, where we keep a list of different friendly neurologists, MS specialists that are in different areas, any MRI imaging centers as well. Just a list of this friendly folks that we know that are competent, that are very culturally humiliative, that we've worked with before, that we have recommendations of working with before. All of that, you can contact their client services, and they'll be happy to find someone in your area that we can connect you to.
Client services. Thank you so much. Sounds like you can access help on MSAA's website in multiple ways, so that's great. All right, we've got lots of questions specifically about how do I access grants for ramps or for going to acupuncturists or all these different things, basically needing financial assistance. Which of these organizations provides financial assistance in some way, shape, or form? All right, so your go-tos are going to be the MS Foundation and the National MS Society. Monique, what would you say is the number one thing that people come for financial assistance to the MS Foundation?
So I would say we get a lot of calls about our assistive technology grant for help with like the ramps or a walker, canes. Also our home care assistance grant, where if someone needs a caregiver in their home after like a surgery or even after a flare up. So those are our two of our big programs, and also our transportation. We do get a lot of requests for transportation as well. Like if someone needs an Uber ride to their doctor's appointment or even an infusion center. So I would say we get a lot of requests for those.
Yeah, great. Would you say if I had a specific request that I don't see listed on your website, should I find another organization that has something listed, or should I still reach out to you to see if I can find the proper resources that I am looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I would say still reach out to us. We do have our support line where you do get a live person that will answer. I mean, if we don't have the answer, we always try to, I know me personally, I'll Google it and look it up and try to find, where I can refer you to if we don't necessarily have that program. So they could definitely still call in and we'll still try to help as much as we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Eric, what would you say is the biggest ask for financial assistance that you guys get over at the National MS Society?
That is a great question. I know that it ranges from home and auto modifications. And so part of it is not just financial assistance, but our navigators work to help leverage funds to secure items for folks. So it's not just a transaction per se, but more of a discussion of like, what is the item that you're looking for? How can we connect with other agencies, leverage funds in local communities, resources in that regard to try to maximize the opportunity. And with our financial support program, it's really focused in three ways, which is improving quality of life, improving healthcare access, and driving innovative solutions. So, right, like how do we help drive sustainable solutions for folks? So it's definitely worth a conversation with MS Navigator to cover what might fall in those categories for you.
That's awesome. I love it. And Darian, I know you also provide some assistance as well.
Yes, absolutely. So all of our assistance really comes in many of our programs, whether it's, we've definitely been hit very heavy for MRI. So that's probably one of our biggest used systems that we have, a support system that we have, as well as cooling equipment program, safety equipment program as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So as you can tell, there's lots of financial assistance out there. Not everyone does it, and sometimes it's limited, but it seems like a lot of people will try to get you in the right place. Reach out to any of these organizations, including Can Do. We will point you in the right direction. We are working kind of as a web of advocacy networks, so we want to hear from you and we want to support you in any way that we can. All right. I have a question about some of the Can Do registrations. If you were registered for a MS Moves meetup, Black Community Meetup, Care Partner Meetup in the past, you are still registered. So you should still be receiving those reminder emails. If you are not, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you join us for those programs. I would say probably all of us would agree. If you are not sure that you're registered for a program, register again. We want to make sure that you're getting the information that you need and want. So feel free to reach out. Ashley, yes, Ashley, We Are Ill. You were mentioning the conference that's in Atlanta. Is the conference always in Atlanta, or does it move about?
It's been in Atlanta for the past, since its inception. We have been looking at possibly expanding to other regions in the future, but Atlanta's
Awesome.
our home for now.
I love it. Thank you so much. All right. We've also got some clarifying questions for locations, as far as where all of us provide resources and programs. So I'll start. So Can Do MS, all of our virtual programming, you can access the virtual programming from wherever you're at. I know that we've got some heavy hitters that come to a lot of our programs that join us from Austria. So if you're awake and you want to come to a program, sign up and come on over. All of our in-person programming is across the continental United States and rotates and changes from year to year. But anyone from any country who, most of our resources are in English. We do have some Spanish resources, but if you're from any country and you want to get English speaking resources and programs, please join us for our programs. I'm going to start with you, Darian. Who and from what countries can people access your programming?
Well, of course, all our digital programming is available for anyone in the entire world and outer space if you're watching as well to view us. But we do specifically serve the United States, America, all of our constitutionally bound, our connect, whatever the word they're saying for all the states that are like right by each other. Then of course, Alaska, Hawaii. In fact, we even have some programs this week coming up in Puerto Rico. So when we say nationally, we do mean nationally. Puerto Rico, we have Jackson, Mississippi coming up this weekend, Oklahoma City, Champaign, Illinois. We just finished Little Rock. So when I tell you we're expansive from all over the country, we really do mean that. But all of our virtual programs, please download. You can see us a list on our line. All of our past webinars are all located on there as well.
What about your financial assistance programs? Is that limited?
It's all online. It's not, so it's limited, of course, per se via your income level, but please give us a call if you're like at that line. If you have questions, we can figure out something. We're here to help you. We're here to help work out, and also partnering with any other local service organizations and all of of course, our partners that are here online with us tonight.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to Monique with the MS Foundation.
So yeah, all our programs, all our virtual programs and everything is available to everyone all over, all over the world, outer space, like as well. But in regards to financial assistance, like our assistive technology and transportation and things that I mentioned earlier, that is geared towards the United States as well as its territories, Puerto Rico being one of them. So we can assist clients in Puerto Rico as well. So yeah, it is but like I said, it is limited when it comes to the financial assistance part, but all our virtual digital information, everything on our website is open to all.
Thank you for clarifying that financial assistance. I appreciate it. Eric, what about the National MS Society?
Sure. So we do a slate of programs where our virtual programs are accessible anywhere in the world. We also do some streaming programs such as our Ask an MS Expert series, which is regularly occurring. We also have it happen in Spanish once a month, and then for veterans quarterly. And so that can be streamed through YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, I believe. So that's accessible anywhere. And then we also have some of our locally community programs, and those are accessible for folks to register and attend. And then as well as some of our support groups, which do have some educational components to them, depending on the group. And some of those groups meet virtually and are available to people across the country as well.
Awesome. And all of your in-person programming, is that just in the continental United States?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good question.
And Ashley, what about We Are Ill?
As far as
Like where if I'm virtual, can I access virtual programming anywhere in the world? Any of your in-person stuff, is that mostly continental United States?
yes, thank you for clarifying. Sorry.
No.
All of our virtual programming is on our YouTube channel. And then so anyone anywhere can watch that, as well as if you want to tune in live when it's happening, the webinars. And then our in-person events are in the continental US. So Wellness Weekend is in Atlanta, and then we're doing community meetups. So we will be going to Houston, New Orleans, Cleveland, and Atlanta at a different time this year. So we try to divide and conquer. We are a small organization, so we try to our best to reach different regions. So
Absolutely. And Stuart, I think you mentioned Florida a few times. So we had a few people wanting to clarify that. Where all can I access MS Views and news information?
So you can access all of our information at our website. When you go to where I believe it says join our events, you can either click on virtual events or you could click on in-person events. If you don't know, you could just ask a question as well. But like right now, we have in-person programs coming up in April in Birmingham, Alabama, and Dallas, Texas. In May, we'll be in Greenville, South Carolina. We'll be in Columbus, Ohio, and we'll be in Scottsdale, Arizona. And coming in July, we'll be in Lynchburg, Virginia, as well as Coleman, Alabama. In August, we'll be in Mobile, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, and somewhere else. I don't remember where. September will be, I don't remember, but it's out there. It's surely out there. All right. And then we'll be doing on the back half of the year, we'll be going to places in New Hampshire, Maine, New York, and back to, as it gets colder, back to South Florida. Okay. So, we got to stick where we are. I have a question though, without me ranting and raving about all that we do. There are organizations that provide cooling vests. There are many, many people affected by cold. How do we get warming vests?
It's a great question. It sounds like maybe something that our organizations need to take back and talk about. It's a great question, Stuart.
Okay, thank you.
And
But again, going back though to what we do, you could just go to our website and look for all these different things, and all of our programs, whether in person or virtual, they're all being recorded, they're all being streamed, so that anybody, like said by everybody else, anybody anywhere in the United States, around the globe, or on the moon can check out our programs. If you have the fortune of getting up into the space station, click on and watch us, all right?
Absolutely. Well said, Stuart. And Victoria, really quick, just clarify where where in the world can we access Shift MS information?
Well, ours is very simple. Wherever you are in the world, we're a 24/7 community, and we're largely English speaking. So all of our content comes from people from the UK or from the US or Canada. But we also run every weekend. We run takeovers on our Instagram and our Twitter. A different MSer takes over these channels every weekend. So it's a great opportunity to kind of access different voices around the world. So yeah, we're 24/7, so you can check. There's always a conversation going on.
Amazing. So what I heard from everybody is that there are tons of resources, tons of programs, wherever you're located. All of us want to hear from you. Thank you to all of our speakers. To finish up, as always, connect with us on TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, and that goes for all of these organizations. All of the slides are going to be available to you, and I believe everybody did share their contact information. So join all of us on social media and go ahead and email us and get yourself on our newsletters. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, EMD Serono, Genentech, Sanofi, and Zenas. Thank you so much for joining us. Speakers, once again, thank you so much for being here this evening. You've all been great. I know I didn't get to all of the questions in the Q&A box. Reach out to the organizations that you want to hear from. I know that we all want our inboxes blown up so that we can be busy tomorrow morning answering all the questions that we're getting from tonight. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.